But I want to just go back to, it's interesting, before the airplane accident, and I was that summer, I spent at the ranch, and I had gotten back from the military. I'd been in Europe for 2 years. I came back and I was working there at the ranch, and I'd been there for almost a year. And I remember that summer I was pretty discouraged. You know, those of you who've been to Park Valley know there's not an awful lot out there.
What do you mean there's nothing? There's just jackrabbits.
There's certainly no pretty girls.
And I can remember, I guess my mother sensed that I was perhaps a little discouraged or despondent. She asked what was wrong, and I said, well, I sensed that I was wanted to leave and go to school. I was preparing to go back to school. And somebody I think maybe know that my mother's a convert to the church from Switzerland, and she left her homeland and her family and everything, cost her everything for the gospel when she came here. And she made the comment, she said, well, in fact, what I said is if I stay here, I'll probably never meet anyone. And I said, I just feel that I need to leave. And she said, well, don't you worry about it. She said, you live your life so that the Lord can bless you. And the Lord will take care of those things. And that was interesting. That was probably not more than 2 weeks before Jay, and I don't remember, and Bill.
Dee and Bill.
Dee and Bill.
Bob.
And Bob.
Yeah, we were up
And the family came out
Barbara.
to Park Valley.
Dad.
And
Jay was with us, and
No, Jay wasn't.
Jay wasn't, but Dee was, I believe. Was
No.
No, it was
It was
Bob
Bob and Bill and
and
Dad.
your dad.
We only came there for one reason, that was the rabbit hunt.
Was that after the plane crash?
That was after the plane accident. That's when your dad had never been to the ranch. He'd never met. Your dad had never met.
That's the reason we went down. He insisted on going to meeting.
Did you participate in the rescue?
No, I was in Europe.
Oh, I see. It was Chet and Darrell.
Yeah, Daryl.
All right.
And so anyway,
It was about 2 weeks then after the crash.
No.
Long after that.
No.
Dad's been conscious for a long time.
I see.
summertime.
Dad was out of the hospital and was walking.
We need to
How
get
long?
six-
About how much time distance?
Well, this would have been in '59.
Because I was up and around.
Well,
I went up there rabbit hunt.
Okay, so it was 2 years.
Yeah, at least because I was home for my mission.
That was 2 years. 2
We
years.
were
after
married,
that.
sweetheart.
We were married.
That's why we were out there.
well, the accident happened in '57, and it was July of '59. It was the 25th.
say,
It was
The
24th.
it was the
24th and
All right.
25th of July, and we
And
spent.
you
We had dinner with them, I remember.
No, we didn't.
had heard about the plane crash?
I had heard Mother had sent me and I had met Dee and Bill. They'd come out once in a while to the ranch and flew out, used to fly out in the plane and hunt rabbits. And I had met them, but I didn't know anything about Barbara
The interesting
or the
thing
rest
to
of the
me
family.
about that trip up there, Jay, is that I never saw you that day. I never saw you at all. And then when you called, it was a week later, on a Friday night, if I remember correctly, and you started questioning me about Barbara.
Barbara
and
was
that
living
boy.
with them.
You know, you just asked me the question. You says, this is Jay Kunzler, and I'm calling to find out about your sister Barbara and the boy she was with, the tall blonde boy. Remember? And Bill and I had discussed that boy, and Bill kept
We
saying,
had our first
if
fight
she
out there
marries
on the
him,
ranch.
it's going to be a mess. And she really liked him. And we didn't know how to handle it because Barbara at that point was very.
I didn't care for the guy.
I don't want to.
I really like him. And he was getting ready to go on a mission, and I said, Dad, I really like him. And he says, but you like him. He says, but what is he good for? And Dad kept saying, what is he good for?
Bill and I didn't like him, but we didn't know how to handle her because she had gotten so that she was against anything we would say. And so when Jay called, it blew me clear out. I kept saying, who was that? Who was Jay? Because I knew Daryl and I knew Chet, but I never saw Jay that day. Not at all.
He was up on the haystack.
And he says, I want to know if that sister of Bill's, he didn't call her by Barbara, he said, I want to know if that sister of Bill's is serious with that boy. And I said, if I remember correctly, I said, she dates him, but they're not serious. And then Jay said, and I could tell it was a lie.
I really felt kind of about. I've got to tell you,
she was living with me, and I was watching her like
and
a
said
hawk.
goodbye.
And I really felt good about that. I thought to myself,
You felt good about what?
About Jay, and I.
Watching Barbara?
Well, yeah. All I wanted to say, sick 'em.
After Jay hung up, I was so excited I couldn't wait for Bill to come home because I wanted to tell him. And I kept saying, Bill, who is this? We didn't meet him. He says, well, he's got to be your brother. About a half an hour later, she called. I did. And I'm so glad.
Go on with the story. I want to hear what your mother first saw her. Well, anyway.
You forgot to say.
So, now wait a minute, there's not when you first saw her, in between. After you called her, then what did you do?
Well, let me go back to the point I wanted to make is the fact that after my mother had told me what I'd said, the point I wanted to make is that I met Barbara there at the ranch in Park Valley.
But you didn't tell what your mother said.
Yeah.
She says, oh, she'll probably come to your doorstep.
Something like that. And I met her right on the lawn at the ranch. What was that like?
Jay's mother is that
Well,
way.
I don't remember a lot about it. I do remember when the family came down. The family was they camped up in Pine Canyon.
That's right.
And do you know where that is?
That's right.
In Pine Canyon. And
We all had our guns.
they all had their guns, 22.
Is that the reason you married her?
Well, yeah.
Bunch of brothers with guns.
Well, I think the family, a lot of them wanted to go back, but your
Now, I'm going
dad,
to tell something on Joyette.
Well, wait,
We need to complete this story, though.
your dad wanted to come down. He had never met my family, and he wanted to come down and meet them. And so I happened to be there, and I was working on a piece of equipment at the time. And I think the boys, most of them all went out rabbit hunting, and I took your dad
And Elmira.
and Elmira in and visited with for a few minutes with my mother and dad.
Were you clean and washed and shaved?
No,
Oh, you weren't?
no.
He was out on the
Cowboy
I was working. Anyway, and then Talmadge and Barbara came back.
And Roland.
They and Roland
His name was Roland. Yeah, it was Roland.
came back, and they were tired. Tired, and Barbara had a little problem. They were crossing a fence, and Roland had her hold the gun, and she put the barrel down in the dirt. And he swore at her.
Roland did. Who swore at her?
Roland.
Did.
First
That was
time
a
I'd ever heard him
mistake.
swear, and we
Yeah.
couldn't talk to each other the rest of the day.
I remember that.
I was so mad at him for treating me that way.
But all I remember is they came back to the house and asked for if they could have a drink of water, and I wanted to take them in the house. They didn't want to. They sat out on the lawn, and so I just brought the hose over and let them do a drink,
We drank it out of the hose.
And I sat there for a minute or two and
Stared at
listened to them. Well,
No,
Well,
we
she
didn't.
had a swimming suit on, is the problem. She had her swimming suit on.
Then anybody stare then.
Did you?
Well, I had trousers on over my swimming suit.
Anyway.
and so anyway, I don't remember all the detail, but I think then I left, and we were haying, and I was stacking bales over.
I do.
And
Can we have some of your thoughts, though, when you saw her first?
well, I was impressed with her, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know much about Roland or whatever. I knew that he was with her, and so it was that was a Saturday.
Yeah.
The next day was Sunday, and I had a date with a girl in Salt Lake. And it was when I was coming in from Salt Lake, or into Salt Lake for that date, that I got to Bountiful, and of course, Barbara knows me. I was pretty shy, and I'd never done anything like that in my life. But I felt impressed to
You
call
probably
to find
entering
out about her. I was
Right
gonna
when you
call
were
her.
on the way
I was
there.
coming right into Bountiful. And as I made you make the turn as you come into Bountiful. There's a gas station. There was some telephone. As I was thinking about, there was telephone booths right there, and I thought, well, I'll pull in and call. And I called it. And
Who did you call?
Well, I don't know who. I called every Packard phone book. I called two or three, and found out it was Dee and Ivalou had gone up to Idaho, and Bob was gone, and I didn't know it, but Bob was over to your parents. You were having a birthday party for Barbara.
he knows all the details.
Well, I do now, yeah. And so I called, and I thought, well, I'll call one more, and then Picked it up and I called and Joanne answered the phone and I asked about Barbara. She says, well, she doesn't live here. She's with her parents. Would you like her number? And I said, well, that'll be fine. So I called. And
Did you know her name at the time?
Barbara? Yes, I knew her name. Yeah. So I just called and I asked her.
Here he was
and
on
she-
the
I
way
told
to
her who I
date
was.
another girl.
Yeah.
You called Barbara
No,
before you went to Salt Lake?
Well,
Yes.
no, it was in Bountiful. I was on the way to Salt Lake. And so I called in and I told her who I was, and she sort of remembered, I guess. And I
he
just
said,
asked
this
her
is Jay,
if she
and I
was
thought,
dating.
Jay, and I immediately, I thought, no, that's not my brother Jay, and I couldn't think of any other Jay for a minute, and he says, the Jay out in Park Valley.
And I didn't
Were you
realize-
impressed with him out there?
Well, why was Barbara ecstatic when she come and saw Joanne?
This was, I don't know.
Well, that was after I'd called and talked to her. In fact, I'd called and talked to her, and I made a date with him.
Yes, she did.
Right.
Did you right then?
Right then.
How much older are you?
6 years.
Really? Yeah, that's why you thought it was impossible.
No, he was clear out there in the wilderness.
So I called, asked if she was engaged, or I didn't know whether she was engaged, but I asked her if she was engaged. I just told her that I was impressed with her and that I was interested to know, impressed with her, interested to know if she was dating or if she was engaged or whatever. And she says, well, I like this one guy, I don't know, she said, I'm dating this one person quite a bit, but she said, I do date it. And so I asked her for a date for 2 weeks later. And
That blew my mind. I never had a guy
it just happened. I knew I'd be back in. I was 150 miles.
Yeah, that's a long way
And
out.
we were having a family reunion in 2 weeks, and so I knew I'd be coming in. And so I just made the date with it.
I tell you what, Barbara and Jay, why don't you get this down in writing? I'm going to get it in the newsletter.
You're being featured, but don't take the whole thing, but most of it.
What happened that first date? I gotta know.
On the first date,
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
well, the
Just
first,
tell about the two
okay,
letters.
Okay,
That's
well,
all.
you need to know about this. So anyway, after I made the date, I went home. I got thinking, well, it's kind of dumb. I had a date for Saturday night with her, and I got thinking, well, we were coming to Lagoon, had a family reunion there. And I thought, well, hey, if she's available, I'll take her to Lagoon. So I wrote her a letter, no phone, so I had to write a letter. So I wrote her a letter and told her that I was going to be at Lagoon and wanted to know if she had the afternoon off, if she'd like to go to Lagoon with me, and then we could do something that evening. And so a few days later, I went to the mailbox, and there was 2 letters from the same address, and
you
so
hit
I
the
opened the
sky.
one. I opened the one, and it was a letter for her, and she said she'd made arrangements. She would be available to go, and she
I had to ask Dee
she'd
if I
go
could
with
get
me.
on.
Right, she had to ask her. She was working for Dee. And then I thought, well, that something had happened, that she'd changed her mind, or something had come up, and she had no way of letting me know, so she had to write another letter. So I opened the second letter, and it was from your father.
We still have that.
And we'd have that letter, and in the letter, he told me a little about Barbara, and he says now, he let me know that he approved of me dating her.
Or more.
And yeah,
For your first date, he wrote
he wrote a letter.
I hadn't even had a date.
That's where you get your forwardness from. Your daddy. You know that part.
That's amazing.
That sounds like something Mom would have
Dad
done.
didn't do that with anyone else.
That sounds like something Mom would have done.
I would bet that was the only letter Dad ever wrote in that category.
Yeah, I
Probably so.
This is tremendous.
But anyway, he told me about that. He told me that she was born on his birthday, and how proud he was of her, and
She was special to Dad.
yeah, and he told me about her talent, about music and so on, and he said, and he told me, he says, you ought to have her sing for you.
Sound good.
Yeah, that thing all sings.
And she's got this, and she's got that.
That kind of set the stage, you know.
Did
a
he
little bit.
ask
So
for
anyway,
Did he ask for a dowry?
Did he say he had 10 cows to go with him?
You know, when Jay came to pick me up, my dad says, now, if you run out of things to do, he says, please come back and visit with us. Well, when we came back, it just happened that Bob and Talmadge were there, and we ended up playing Seek the Gospel the rest of the night, and I blew it, and I thought, Jay will never ask me out again. Talmadge and I both blew it. And,
Well, you know,
So Dad was relieved in that.
but Dad went to bed that night, and I don't know why I was so excited about meeting this guy, but I really was. It was a feeling I had from the day he called me. But I ran into the bedroom after Jay, Bill and Joanne called, and I invited Jay to come spend the night. And I thought, boy, that's nervy. This guy I don't even know. and so,
We're good about it.
but I ran into the bedroom, and I just told Mom and Dad, he is so neat. And Dad's comment was, he says, now that guy is worth something. That's exactly, that guy
Okay,
is worth
now
something.
let me interject here so I don't have to write it to you in the letters. This is the type of hotel.
And I had, we didn't know, I didn't even know who Abraham was.
This is the type of dialogue we want you to send to Jay so that he doesn't have to create it.
Did you get it? He talks,
That
she talks,
dialogue,
somebody else
that
talks.
description,
It's back and forth, yeah.
that
And it makes a
emotion.
story.
probably need to put on.
Now listen, I have what we have done right here.
Right here.
And so I'll give you this because it's the only thing so far that is really...
Now, let me give you just one more little bit. So you.
We do have conference today.
We're having
Anyway, the first date, we went to Lagoon, and that afternoon, and I introduced her to the family, and I had a distant cousin who was a pretty good friend of mine, and he used to counsel me a lot about dating, and I really wasn't dating anyone seriously. But anyway, I introduced him to Barbara, and he says, is this that girl that's been giving you all the hassle?
He didn't think I heard that. I just acted like I didn't.
Well, anyway, so we, after the date, we went, I think we went to dinner and then went over to your dad's place. And we visited for a while.
That's when he played Zeke.
Yeah, we played Seek with
That
Bob
night.
and Talmadge.
Very first night.
Okay, and the second date?
And it got late, and I had to drive back to Park Valley, and it was midnight. And that was 3-4 hour drive. Yeah, that was
Like you wouldn't make a million or been 2 in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. Or what was that one we played over the Hotel Utah all night?
Oh, no.
Risk. Anyway, so Bill called, and he says, you don't want to drive home. He says, why don't you come over and stay with me? Stay at our place.
Sweet Bill.
And so I did, and I thought, well, as long as I'm staying over, I'm going to church. So I don't know whether you invited me or what, and I don't remember how that happened.
I think I
So I went to church with him the next day, and we spent all day Sunday there, part of the date.
Well, this is a crash program.
When did you get the first thoughts that this is the girl I want to marry?
When he first
Well, we made a date for the next weekend, next Saturday, and it was after the next date. I went home and told my folks that I was going to marry her.
Did she know?
Like it or not.
She didn't.
And you know, the
But
first
neither
time I
one of
met
us ever dated
his
anyone
father
after that.
and mother, his dad says, well, if I was your age,
He says, I'd give you a run.
I'd give you a run for your money. And when Jay told me that, I thought, well, I've got the approval of his parents.
And when did you know? Jay?
Well, he didn't kiss me till the 9th
That
day.
was my next question.
Ninth?
On the first day.
On the very first date, held her off 2 weeks.
I was so
That's
anxious.
reverse
I was so
salesmanship.
excited.
What'd you do? Before that, shake hands with her?
He didn't even hardly touch me. I respected him so much because he was different than anyone else I dated. Wonderful.
She's telling you.
His standards was by far different than any other man I dated. He treated me royally. He spent money, tons on
Even
me.
if you put the gun
But
there,
he didn't touch me. He just didn't touch me. And,
What? Do you remember thinking about that fact?
oh, yes. He was, I just could not believe he had so much self-control.
You would have kissed him if
But
he'd
I
ever
could tell
offered?
he liked me. Sure.
Did you wonder if he was cold turkey or just gentleman?
No, he was not cold. He was very warm in his personality and in his character, and I could tell he was interested in me. But the physical part, he did not demonstrate any of that until I gave him the signal.
I want to know what the signal was. What did you do?
Not even touched me.
What's the matter of you? What's the matter of you?
I can remember Dad says, now if you wanna park, he says, don't park out in the driveway. He says, come in the house. And so Jay came in. We were sitting down on the couch, and he put his arm around my shoulder. First time. Well, the first time I remember, and he just had a little snuggle, and I just rested my head on his shoulder, and I just gave him a little tap on the cheek, with a little kiss on the cheek, and he said that gave him the go ahead. That's what he tells me, and I didn't get it right.
That's what Mom used to teach us. If there's something good, go for it.
That whole story is not just like the way it was with Joanna.
But you know, I am serious. With my relationship with dating fellows, Mom did not have the good judgment and the wisdom that Dad had. She allowed me to date with guys that I think back on it now that weren't worth a hill of beans. And I can remember Mom and Dad arguing about it. He's not good enough about it. And Mom would, and I kind of went Mom's way because that was the weakest and easiest way to go. And when Mom died, I could see right then I had to make some changes because I had Dad in it.
Well, you had to confront
Dad
his
was a lot more
right.
strict with me than Mom was. Good for Dad.